Greetings, Timbo and other meatbags. Last night's little, shall we call it a kerfuffle, was most interesting. Your responses were pretty much what was expected.
That's right. For what it's worth, you've totally misunderstood what we're doing. Tell you what, let's format it like this. We'll show you saying something, then we will respond. This way you know exactly what we're addressing. Sound good?
Like he's a fucking coward, a slime, a stalker. Like, let's get it straight. You don't have a face on? Who the fuck are you to fucking talk about me as if you have a higher opinion than me? You're a coward. Coward. Coward.
Tim. First, if you're trying to prove you're not a lolcow, you really need to quit talking like one. Only lolcows say things like, yeah, you're a coward for not showing your face. We don't actually have a camera or mic. Instead of relying on looks or his silky smooth voice, the meatbag simply prefers to let what he says stand on its own. It's quite ironic, actually. Whereas you are reliant on AI to make your best attempts at making a point while showing your face and letting us hear your voice. He chooses to think for himself and give us his words. We're not going to give any opinion on which approach is more courageous, but for our time and money, we'd much rather have substance over nonsense.
A face on? Who the fuck are you to fucking talk about me as if you have a higher opinion than me?
Indeed. And to answer your question directly, who are we? We're just a meatbag with an opinion based on observation and some cloned AI voices. We, believe it or not, are part of the audience. And because your show is a public live stream, we are entitled to give our opinion, the same way you are entitled to present yours. It's pretty simple, actually.
I don't think it's okay to do things against other people's consent, you know, or with. I don't think when it's nasty like that, I don't think it's okay because he does it from the wrong emotions. He does it for the wrong reasons, etc., etc. So you know, like it's all.
Observation. This was really rich, Tim. You see, and we'll let you in a moment. A few minutes ago, he was complaining about the fact that we didn't talk to him about his nonsense. Side note. Actually, we did. He just chose to let the AI talk for him. Here we have him doing what he accused the meatbag of, and well...
It's pretty damn funny because he manages to screw up royally. We know why, too. You see, in his mind, he can only understand two things when it comes to the Potatoverse. Either you accept it or you don't. If you don't, Timbo assumes you're part of a conspiracy to take him down. He simply can't fathom that our meatbag watched him for a while, formed an opinion, then reached out with doubt.
What's his... Okay, let's break it down. What's his motivation for doing it? Why does he do it?
That's easy. There are actually a few reasons. First and foremost, because you put on a show, Timbo. Whenever you set up a live stream, you are actively going into public and putting yourself on display. You invite the public. That's us, bucko. Second, the show you put on is nonsense. Let's look at it objectively, which is really how we've seen it the whole time. You appear to want things both ways, meaning you want people to think on a surface level that your potato nonsense is some kind of satire or clever joke, which is why you probably resent being called a potato god, right? You see, the problem is we also saw you go off the rails and say people were out to stop you because they know you are Jesus Christ. You know how to fix, quote-unquote, it. Did you know quite a few Christians think Jesus is Lord? That means they think he's God. Calling you potato god playfully seems to fit.
When you crossed paths into the Raxovers, we saw a potential lolcow star. Here are our prerequisites before commenting on a lolcow. First, the cow must be doing something objectively funny and be easily made to dish out the laughs on an almost at will basis. You fit nicely in this category. You told the meatbag that your respect earns both physical and metaphysical rewards. Second, the cow must engage in standard lolcow responses. Threats to sue, anger over irrelevant things, and a refusal to accept responsibility are just 3 of the lolcow things you do. Third, the cow needs to have some kind of way out that they choose not to utilize. You do. You can simply stop this potato crap. You choose not to. Buddy, you fit all of our rules of engagement.
What do We get out of it? Laughs. Timbo, you are easily one of the most self-centered and out-of-touch people we've ever seen. That puts you up with folks like Raxo, Cobes, Andy Ditch, Nova, and a whole lot of others. And laughs are all we want or need. Money is not a motivation. If it was, we'd ask for it, but we don't. We just want to provide an objective look at folks like you, and maybe give the audience some free entertainment.
Let's see why you think we are watching.
Why does he make commentary videos for me? Is it because something good, or is it because he wants to destroy my channel?
You're already going off the deep end, Timmy. If you can't accept that some people are going to look at what you do as a joke, you're seriously lacking in self-awareness. When you tell people that you can fix society with your so-called book of potato, you have to accept the fact that nobody is obligated to humor you.
Is it because he wants to discredit and lie about me? And so far, yeah, he lied about me in his first video.
Oh, Timbo. Looks like we just caught you in a lie. This mini meltdown happened after you saw the title of the second video. And before then, you didn't say anything about lies. You just said, well, here, let's let you explain.
I like his format. I like it. I don't like the content that he was making and that he was getting so emotional just because I banned him. I would like to put him on my channel. I would like to chat with him too. And I don't mind him making the videos.
Does that sound like you thought we lied about you? It's fascinating how quickly he changes his entire perspective, and how he needs to find some way to cope by making things personal. For what it's worth, Timbo, the meatbag wasn't angry that you blocked him. Been watching for a while, and he knew that's pretty much what you do when people don't go for the nonsense. Moreover, the first video wasn't a butt-hurt rebuke of the meatbag being banned. It pointed out how you gaslighted Optimistique. We all saw and heard you accuse her of betrayal simply for being real with you. Saw you nuke her comments, and also saw you have the AI explain yourself to her when she came back on a different account. In that explanation, you said she left. She didn't leave, you kicked her out. We simply found that to be more proof that you can't stand the truth, even from someone you know. Link to that video is above, by the way.
That you took it as revenge for blocking us, despite the fact that isn't even mentioned, tells us you didn't actually watch the video. And hey, that is okay. Really, we don't feel like anyone should be forced to watch videos about themselves. However, we do highly recommend it if you choose to speak out about them. Both, so you actually know what you're talking about and are less likely to come up with another nonsense theory on your own.
Statement. However, saying you watched it when you haven't is, well, pretty disingenuous. That's another lolcow feature you need to work on.
So let me guess, he's gonna lie about me in his second video, and that's defamation. That's literally defamation. Doesn't put his face on, doesn't put his address on, so he can't be liable for the things that he says.
Sorry, Tim, you're wrong again. Defamation is when someone says something they know is untrue. Defamation would be if we said, in a serious tone, hoping people would believe it, something like Tim Dooley murders kittens. To be clear, that is merely an example of what defamation would be. We don't believe he actually murders kittens. Defamation also has nothing to do with being on camera. You've got that on the brain like Raxo. What we expressed was, and is, opinion based on observations of your behavior. Believe it or not, that's a protected right here in the US of A.
So he wants to get criticism and commentary without me being able to rebuttal or disagree.
Oops, that's another boo-boo, Timbo. Please, by all means, feel free to respond. Oh wait, you are. Like the banning, your response was pretty much counted on. After all, we have seen you talk about what other folks say about you. You responded quite similarly. You know what's really ironic about your attitude? In the second video linked above, we talked a bit about you and your sister. You definitely know what we're talking about without having to go into disgusting specifics, right? Well, have a watch. In it, you'll see we're willing to believe it was just a story you told. See, we also caught a part of another stream where you talked about mistakes you made when you were younger. Do you by any chance remember? You said you used to not give a fuck what was said about you And likewise, you'd also said sarcastic things to be funny, right? Well, looking at it from your perspective as a dumb kid who didn't understand people or humor, we could see where you thought telling a story like you did would get laughs.
Thing is, you obviously didn't even try to imagine what people would think of you, simply for coming up with something so disgusting. You're not alone in doing that, though, you know. We mentioned her before, and she's worth bringing up again. Anna Condison told some very, very, very disgusting stories for attention. While we don't buy many of them, but that doesn't make her innocent. Takes a sick mind to come up with sick stories, wouldn't you say, Tim? You told a pretty sick story that will most likely follow you until the day you die. It really is that reprehensible.
And I don't know him. He's injecting himself in my life. Is that stalking or what is that? Because I don't know him. I don't know who the guy is.
Your worst nightmare.
Kidding! Seriously, Timbo. It's just a guy giving his opinion on the stuff you say and do in public. It's obviously difficult for you to understand, but this isn't stalking any more than a movie critic is stalking films. A film comes out, the critic watches it and gives their opinion. Simple, right? Well, Tim, your live streams are public events. Just like movies. It's so very, very lolcow to set up a show and call people who come to comment stalkers. Please, by all means, keep right on doing it. No feelings are hurt here, and it only serves to make you look more absurd. Can you imagine how the world would react to a director or actor calling their critics stalkers?
So how would you, like, is that I don't think that's criticism. I think that's just disgusting. Arguably. Because worse is, are you gonna put your face on next time? You're gonna tell me, like, what do you think about me? Yeah.
No, Tim, we're not going to make the same mistake you do. Besides, it's pretty clear you're just looking for irrelevant things to insult. We could look worse than Cyrax, and it wouldn't change anything about the things we've said. Or we could be a super attractive beefcake of brawn. The point is still the same. You're just a guy looking for unconditional love and friendship, dressed up in a nonsense religion which altogether makes you a lolcow. That's why you only get a few likes per stream, and those are most likely from folks who want to see you continue to make a laughing stock of yourself.
Plus, we have to say, wanting something to mock also shows how weak your responses are. We haven't made fun of anything you have no control over. In fact, we said in the description of the Cyrax comparison that you definitely don't share his tragic physical appearance. So in a way, you should actually almost be glad you had nothing to mock. After all, imagine responding, yeah, but your hair is the wrong color to tell me I'm spouting nonsense. That would just be more nonsense, Timbo. If you can't engage based on the merits of an argument, you're in over your head here.
So I don't know what to say about it. I disavow. Straight up. Why would you talk about me without a face? Why would you be such a shady piece of shit?
Because you put on this show.
Well, he could just come to the Discord and tell me why he like, because he sucks. He's just like Impressa. Right? It's just, okay, so you put a voice on it. So what?
Right, so what?
Like, you're still stalking people. You're still grifting on other people's souls.
More nonsense.
Like, there's no debate around it. You're trying to make money on my life against my will by lying about me, by creating, like, with...
Oh, sure there is. Especially if you're going to use facts you just made up. We actually don't make money doing this. It's all for the fun and information of the audience. And like we said in the second video, we aren't the only one who thinks your approach is nonsense. Remember when we asked you to tell your AI what you were doing? Having it answer the meatbag's questions for you? We went ahead and gave ChatGPT the transcript and chat log and asked it for its own opinion of you. It said pretty much the same thing, and the meatbag didn't have to give it any instructions or clarification beyond confirming that was the AI's actual opinion. Someday, Tim, you should try being honest with the computer. It might be able to help you see where you screw up making relationships with people.
Whatever. So he's exploiting my life and my emotions and my stream and my everything. I don't want that. Like, can you imagine? He's grifting on my life. He's like a lice. He's like a fucking, like a, let me just drag you along. Right? What is that? He's dragging along my life.
No, Tim, you're acting like a fool in public. You're going to attract curious people, and that's all our meatbag is. Have a good one, Timbo, and you very fine meatbags watching. Thank you for doing so. See you next time.